What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mr. Straight Facts Show. I'm Mr. Straight Facts. Let's get in it today. Everybody's coming off the State of the Union. We did that live yesterday. And today, we're going to cover some of the things that were said during that State of the Union. And we're going to address some things that Republicans and others said in a CNN clip later. Abby Phillip, her segment, one of her segments, is about 3 minutes long, but it has a lot packed into it. We're going to cover that. But first, let's get into the fact that they found the other day, and they're still talking about it today because they found out more information about these missing Epstein files that have Donald Trump in it. Yeah. The files that are missing are the ones, and there was 50 pages of a girl who was 13 or 14 years old, right? But this happened in 2019 when Donald Trump was president and Bill Barr was the head of the DOJ. Yeah, Christopher Wray, head of FBI, all Republicans, by the way, got this information. And remember, Bill Barr was the one, when it came to the Mueller files, he's the one who ran out and told everybody, oh, there's nothing to see here, nothing here. Oh, I haven't released it yet, but there's nothing here to see. Nothing to charge anybody for. Oh, here's the files. You guys can look at them. And then when you look at them, there's all kinds of shit to see. But you had Bill Barr lie to the American people first. That was the guy that was the head of the DOJ. The same one whose father is the one who helped create this monster, Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. Gave him the opportunities that he should have never gave him, which also, again, Bill Barr is the father of, Donald Barr is the father of Bill Barr. And he wrote a book while he was the headmaster of a school for teenagers. He wrote a book about some extraterrestrial being molesting 13, 14-year-old kids. Yeah, having sex with them. Yeah. That was his father's book. He was a writer, and he was head of this prestigious school who invited a pedophile into the school, the most notorious pedophile later on in life to find, which would be Jeffrey Epstein, into a school of kids. Now, we had to have known that he knew this dude was a pedophile back then. There's no way in hell you didn't know that. How did you meet this guy? He didn't have an education. How did you meet him? Bill Barr, your father is probably dead now, but you have some explaining to do. Was your dad a pedophile? I'm just wondering. He wrote a book about it. He invited the most notorious pedophile into a school of children. It's kind of weird that it was on his mind to write a fucking book. You know how long it takes to write a book? You know how long it takes to write a fucking book? For most artists, a year, 2 years. He wrote a book that specifically talked about some kind of alien character, and it was a bunch of pedophiles. They had sex with children while being the head of a fucking school of children. And he ends up getting released or retires or something 6 months after his book comes out. 6 to 8 months, they let him go. And it's so strange, a little bit longer than that, the following school season, they let Epstein go. He wasn't up to par, they say. It's kind of crazy how a man, Donald Barr, Bill Barr's father, somehow invites a pedophile into a school. Notorious. And then once he leaves, he gets not a demotion. He doesn't go to jail. He doesn't go anywhere. No, he gets promoted to a job he never did before. He never taught before. He never did anything with stocks. He gets a job at Bear Stearns. Wow. What an amazing life. Going from a poor white kid / Jewish, having no connection to wealth, all of a sudden gets into a group of people and starts teaching at a prestigious school without an education. Bill Barr's dad did that. Brought a pedophile into a school. And it's crazy how Bill Barr was there when the pedophile died. Same pedophile, not like a pedophile just random. No, the exact same one that his father. It's crazy how this man's life was started by one Barr and died under another. And it's crazy. It's triple Barr here. Barr created him and brought him into a school with being a pedophile around children. Bill Barr's dad did that. Then you got Bill Barr, when he was there, he died, and he was behind bars. We had triple bars. The universe is saying something. What the fuck is up with the bars? I'm just questioning what's up with the Barr shit. Bill Barr's father was the one that helped him into a school without an education. Bill Barr's father wrote a book about pedophilia, glorifying it, but making a person an alien. And when he died, instead of investigating Donald Trump, Bill Barr left that alone. Those files were there in 2019. The FBI, Christopher Wray's people at the time, interviewed a woman in 2019 that said Donald Trump raped her in 2000 when she was 13, 14 years old. And it's so crazy how Dan Bongino's out here screaming again, trying to act like he got some fucking morals. You got Kash Patel out there pretending like he got some balls. He a real man. He a little man, cockeyed little man, but he's supposed to be all super strong. Oh, I'm great. No, you're the biggest nerd ever and can't see worth the fuck. But yeah, you out there protecting a pedophile. You know he's a pedophile. You don't see in the documents. You hid them. Here's the crazy part. Those files that are supposed to be open up to the senators or in House representatives like that, those were redacted, not supposed to be, but redacted by the FBI before it came to the DOJ. Some of them were blocked. And those, it's crazy enough, when they did release it, some of them had Donald Trump's name in it. What's crazy about that is you got Kash Patel. They found out more information. The Kash Patel ordered that when they told them to have all those FBI agents look for Donald Trump's name, yeah. Well, the ones they found that we saw was already in the public eye. We knew about, a few of them ourselves because the records were out automatically in Florida and things of that nature that we saw online. And the Republicans, MAGA, used to say that we were Trump's derangement syndrome. I'm like, that's an actual document. It's a legal document. They didn't believe it. Crazy enough, that exact document was in the Epstein Files. Once they found it was in Epstein Files, where are these MAGAs at? Quiet. Mum's the fucking word. Don't say nothing. Now that we know there's 50 pages or so of this one girl, the one that we all done heard of, Donald Trump raped her, hit her, made her give him fellatio. She bit him. He hit her. Yeah. This child is a woman now, but she was a child and went through that. Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi ain't nothing but Donald Trump's Ghislaine Maxwell. Because she didn't even turn around and look at these women. She has no deference. Just like Ghislaine Maxwell, she acts like, I don't know nothing about these kids. It's weird how they know what your body looks like. It's weird how they know how you do what you do in the bedroom. I guarantee they can describe it, but somehow you innocent. And we all should have known Donald Trump was guilty the moment he sent his little henchman in there to ask her a question. All she just come out, Donald Trump didn't do nothing. And then after that, she got favors. Well, how can you say Donald Trump didn't do nothing? And how can Todd Blanche actually take that as verbatim when he has access to the files that literally said he did. And here's the thing. Those things don't necessarily make him guilty, but going down and interviewing the person and then asking, this 13-year-old knew exactly where they were at, knew what the furniture looked like, where the couch was, all these different things. She knows details of a home that this young child should have never been the fuck in. Something is credible here. How does she know this shit? Now let's go to these buildings and see if she's anywhere near close. The moment, if they did this, they went into a multi-million-dollar mansion that a 13-year-old child that's not related to Jeffrey Epstein, that's not related to Donald Trump, they don't have any babies that she was babysitting, which that was the lie, the ruse they got her to come to this location, right? Sent a car for her or whatever, and then she's away from her home. They do this to this child more than once. All you had to do, I mean, you don't have to be fucking Inspector Gadget, Inspector Caruso. You ain't got to be none of that shit. You just literally have to go and say, all right, let me take this down real quick, and then go to the location. This is enough to get a warrant. If this house looks the way this child just said it was, and you ain't got no kids in here for her to be playing with or nothing like that, being a neighbor or anything like that, no, she's poor. She was nowhere near your neighborhood. You brought her into your hood. If she can describe this crib, your ass is arrested. Because how else would she know? I mean, it's just common sense. Answer the fucking question. And you people, the pundits on CNN, MSNBC, all the rest of you, when you get these people in front of you, the Democrats, when you get these people in front of you, Pam Bondi again, I suggest you call Dan Bongino up. He's out now. He has to come. He don't come, arrest his ass. Ask him to come. I think he got something to say. Put him under oath and ask him these questions. These children knew the inside of that house. How would a 13-year-old know the inside of somebody's house that they don't know, never worked for? How'd they get there? How'd they get there? How does she know what the bedroom looks like? How does she know what the bed looks like? How does she know any of this shit? How does she know? Those are simple fucking questions. You don't have to be the expert on learning how to investigate something. Everybody here done seen enough investigation movies, dramas to know. Simple as fuck. If I told you I was inside of a home, inside of a dungeon somebody trapped me into, I would go look for said dungeon to verify. I wouldn't just say this kid's off a rocker and just move on. Not unless you was paid off to do so. And anybody in their right mind, judge, lawyers, overseers in any way, shape, or form, that would tell you that a man, a grown man, in his 40s, whatever it was at the time, 2008, however old he was, 40, 50, whatever the hell he was, a grown man. Since when is prostitution with a child, a minor, not pedophilia? What had to take transaction for that? I didn't know that she was 15, 14 years old, but I paid her. She looked certain age. She looked like a child. So how does one come about saying that the girl is a prostitute? A victim you called a prostitute, and the pedophile, you sent them out to do more pedophilia. And now, Pam Bondi was there at that time. Kind of crazy, huh? All these people. That first deal, Pam Bondi was in Florida. I think she was Attorney General at the time or some shit like that, or the year after, whatever it was. Alan Dershowitz, Pam Bondi. I forgot his lawyer's name. The one that Donald Trump ended up putting in his cabinet or whatever the last time. His administration. All of them were culprits with Jeffrey Epstein. It's just how crazy they all are still together. It's crazy how you You claim that you have nothing to do with pedophiles, but everybody that was clinging to this pedophile is your friend too. Birds of a feather flock together. I don't understand how they still think that Donald Trump's not one. That's why I named this, basically, this live, that if any one of you were accused of anything, I don't care if it was shoplifting, I don't care if it was cheating on the test, I don't care what it was, anything, in this world that we live in, right? In the world in which 2009 we were living in, there's evidence in their situation, allegations, documentations, and they found out she was credible. They matched up with documentation that was in the 2008 case. A lot of these things were repetitive, that Donald Trump was a part of that. Donald Trump's still a part of this one in 2019. If there is evidence to prove my innocence, you think I'm going to hide it? Donald Trump been trying to hide. You guys still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? And everybody's still talking about him. Talk more about me. Look at all my wins. We're talking about the ladies, and Jeffrey Epstein is the creep. We ain't talking about Jeffrey Epstein just to be giving Jeffrey Epstein accolades, you dipshit. We hate him. And you keep on trying to stop people from protecting the women. You got to understand something. Donald Trump has yet to say one kind word or acknowledgement of these ladies. He can't bring himself to do it. Now you wonder why he can't bring himself to do it, but he could easily bring himself without any coercion to say, Ghislaine Maxwell, I'm pretty sure she's a good person. I don't know. I don't really know her that well. He lied because there's pictures with him and his wife all the time. And his wife came from that little jungle that they were in. His wife knows a lot about that as well. Everybody's leaving her out of it. I don't say leave her out of it. She was in those pictures. Ghislaine Maxwell is there. Jeffrey Epstein's there. Ghislaine's in jail. Epstein's dead. The only two culprits in these photos is Donald Trump and his wife Melania. So I say bring Melania in. Investigate her too. Why? She was there. She's been there. She is the one. Jeffrey Epstein, at these wild parties he had, that's how Donald Trump met her. Jeffrey Epstein told Michael Wolff they had sex for the first time on Jeffrey Epstein's either jet or yacht, one of the two. He introduced them. Jeffrey Epstein had her before Donald Trump. Yeah, this is what Michael Wolff said, and Donald Trump has never negated it, nor has she. They tried to sue him, and once they started to try and sue him, he said, okay, then give me the information which I need to ask that you give me. And they put it on a halt. They done said they're going to sue him so many times, but they ain't going to do it because then they have to disclose all the information that he needs to prove his point. Say, oh, well, let's just have your information. Let's depose her and ask her questions. Put her under oath. And then we're going to go search her home. We're going to search the facts. We're going to search the documents. And we're going to try and find out if you had anything to do with it. I say go ask her. While she's under oath, ask her, how did she get here on an Einstein visa and she's not qualified for that? Didn't qualify for it. So she's null and void. Get the fuck out the country. Do that. Dems. Go balls out on this shit. Don't be sitting here like trying to be, you guys kind of disgusted me sitting there in silence. And people like I said, I ain't holding back on nobody. I like certain people, but when they're on different points of view of mine on certain stupid shit, I'm going to tell you, love me some Bakari Sellers. Bakari Sellers said he felt a little certain way when Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib literally spoke out, and he's like, he liked this silent shit. Shut the fuck up, Bakari. Take your ass. You younger than me, and you in this old ass way of thinking. You done got caught up in this Democrat little wimpy bullshit. We ain't into no little wimpy bullshit no more. We manning up. Y'all can stay pussies all you want. We don't want that shit. We want somebody with some hair on their chest. Tired of y'all little baby skin having bastards. Y'all here, oh, well, we're just going to be quiet. That quiet shit didn't work. It worked against you. They out here promoting, you don't care about America. You don't care about this. Just because you stayed quiet. Your silence did nothing. You know who they talking about? Omar and Rashida Tlaib. And you know what they're saying? Racist shit. And what are y'all saying? Still in the quiet zone. Telling them to go back to their country. Would you guys stand 10 toes down today for them? No, you didn't. You was off on the road still talking about Donald Trump. So what did you accomplish with your silence? Not a fucking thing. I mean, with all you there, not one fucking brain cell said, you know what? Y'all should have all stood up and said, release the Epstein Files. The very least y'all could have did. With the women there, come on. It's like you guys got all these brain cells there, and not between none of y'all. Could you rub two of those bitches together? Y'all should have just stood up and all said at the same time in unison, just like they said, USA, USA, USA. Y'all should have got up all together, released the Epstein Files, release the Epstein Files. None of y'all dipshits did it. Wearing signs and shit. Y'all fuckers are weak. Get the fuck out. Nobody wants you. Get out. The only people who had fire there were the two women. I don't even like Rashida Tlaib. She's part of the reason we in this fucking situation. She need to get the fuck out for her mistakes. If it wasn't for her doing all this bullshit, she probably would have won. Starting people all I can't stand that chick. Y'all know what she did. But not between none of them could they have stood up and said, release the Epstein file. You brought them there. And not one camera, while I was watching, captured them. Did they have on t-shirts? Were they wearing all white? Not one camera that I saw caught them in unison, sitting there, supporting them. Not one person put up a sign, release the Epstein Files. Not fucking one. Wimps. This decorum bullshit is out the fucking window. You got an older man, Representative Alan Green, older than most of y'all. The only one that has balls to stand up and do something. The only one. How the fuck we sending y'all there to get a paycheck to sit on your ass and be quiet? All of you. Wimps. You guys that was at the park and bullies would beat y'all up and y'all would get up and just sit right back down. And they push your ass over again, you get up and sit right back down, thinking that you weren't going to get your ass beat tomorrow if you didn't step up and hit them in the throat. Wimps, the whole entire party. It's crazy. The least you could have done is said something respectful, but loud and proud. USA, they got the clap. Y'all stood in silence. It's like you weren't even there. Why the fuck did you come? Leaving a chair empty was silence. Having a body with nothing was weak. Defective. Send it back. Old school shit. None of y'all fucking 100 years old, but there was some 100 century-year-old shit. The country don't left that behind. Not one of you stood up and said, release the Epstein Files. Why don't you release the Epstein Files? USA. Protect our women. Protect our children. None of that. Weak. Defective. Send it back. Kills me. These people. How do you fight for a country that's in peril as if it's like the country was the same as it was 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 10 years ago. It's not. And you can't recognize that? You need to get the fuck out and come live outside that Washington bubble and see what the rest of us is feeling. Because obviously you don't feel it. Your words don't match your actions. Your actions should have been louder last night. Rashida Tlaib. Oh, can't stand that lady. But she stood up and said something. Ilhan Omar stood up and said something. Well, they both sat down and said something. The only one who stood up and said something was Reverend Al Green. The only one brought a sign. You weak, defective bastards out here trying to collect money from us while these people destroy a country. It ain't normal out here. We're at war to keep this country a democracy, and y'all acting like it's just regular ass fucking day. Ridiculous. 100% ridiculous. Who fights like this? A bunch of wimps. That's who fights like this. They're always weak and defective. You know, we're going to shut up with your whiny ass. Stand up and fight. This man is a pedophile, a bully. And the best you can do is to sit there. We're going to make him mad. He's going to get angry. Fuck him. What you should have did was give him a stroke. He would have stood up in defense of him. Let him get pissed off. Let him get angry. Let him get hot. Fucking crazy. I don't understand these people. I don't. They're trying to keep it the way it used to be. And this country is stepping all over them. The Republicans are stepping all over them while telling them, you got to stay, respectful while being beat the fuck up. It's tantamount if you get into a boxing match and one boxer, the Republicans, are just slyly head bumping, beating the shit out of you. And you're sitting here like with your hands tied behind your back. And I'm like, what? This ain't a fight. How is this a fight with your hands behind your back? Getting knocked down, drugged down, and don't do nothing. I'm going to write a very poignant letter. Last night you should have showed America you could fight. And we understand the norm of decorum. But we don't have that, bruh. So that norm shit's out the window. We can get back to norm after we light their asses up for all the shit they done did to us. These fools have been allowed to break in to the House and the Senate. Was it the House Senate? Well, anyway, break into Congress and shit on the walls. And they're not like beneath the jail. And you guys are still sitting here. We're going to be quiet and just look at him the entire time. Some of us are going to fall asleep. We're going to wake up and we're going to look at him. Weak, defective. We need to buy something new. Your batteries are out. All the euphemisms you can come up with. Trash. Gotta go. Get to packing. Hit the road, Jack. We don't want you no more. If you can't stand up and fight for this country when it needs it, what's it going to take? For Donald Trump to start killing people in the streets? Oh, he already did that. And you guys still trying to take back the country like it's a normal way to take back the country? It's crazy. It's just crazy. I don't see how these people think they're fighting for Americans when we're at basically war. We're at war for democracy, and they're literally just sitting there doing normal shit. Like, he's gonna be out in 3 years. No, he will not. He's thinking about cheating, but we don't know for sure. He is going to cheat. Figure it the fuck out how to stop it. There is no he may be. I get tired of them talking about, well, what if he cheats? If he just, he's going to cheat. Good God. I'm like, black people. And this is what I'm saying with black people. The 92%, 78, whatever percent black people. It gets on our nerves that we got to tell you the shit as if we're prophetic, like Jesus just came down off the mountain and just gave us the message. Black people will know what the fuck is going on, and everybody else will be in a fucking daze. But he forgot to tell the dumb fucks, listen to black people. How the fuck you think we know this? We've been through the worst in this fucking country. We know when every race, color, or creed is bad. We done seen it. We know it. We can feel it. We can taste it in the air. Our bones ache when we get around you. We understand this shit. It's not rocket science. It is lived experience. He's going to cheat. Stop it. You see what he's doing? Stop it. Come up with a strategy to stop it. I don't care if you put other police officers there to stop their police officers. I don't care if you come there, every state sends their military that we have here to sit right next to them. You ain't gonna do shit. Your police force sits right in front of them and protects the voter. I don't care what you gotta do, but you start making a plan to protect, not to be sitting on your ass waiting for him to fucking strike. If you wait till he strikes, then everybody's hurt already. He's already telling you what he's going to do. So, Democrats, what are you going to do? That's the problem. You don't have an answer. You're waiting for him to fuck it up so you can try and fix it up. No, you need to find out how he's going to fuck it up and fix it before he fucks it up. I would start out by giving a subpoena to his right-hand man that created Project 2025. Bring him in. Put him under oath. And get the secrets that he's trying to do to this country. Because if he says he ain't doing nothing and that shit happens, throw his ass in jail with the quickness. Don't let him travel out of Washington, D.C. As soon as he get into a state, grab his ass. Throw him in jail for breaking the law in whatever state he's in. You got to play fire with fire. Keep it legal, but fire with fire. They're going to break the law. You make sure you get the law right so their ass go away for a long fucking time. It's very simple. Very simple. Now, with Donald Trump having 50 pages missing of this one girl. Remember, there's at least 3 allegations. But this one girl, they interviewed and they have over 50 pages in what they call a 302, in which they write down information, not always recorded, but they write down information, and it's recorded twice from what I hear. They write down notes while they're in it, and then they go fill out this 302. So the documents that are in their pad or whatever they wrote down with, if they computerize it, I don't know. And also on top of that, they fill out a 302. So there would be 2 of the same thing. So they only released one of these memos. That's why we know that there was a 302 that was done, and the FBI found her to be credible. The other 3 are missing. I guarantee you, I don't know. But if they delved enough in that first one that they decided to go for 3 more, there's more evidence of what Donald Trump did. Because it was all about Epstein, they release it. No doubt. It's probably about Donald Trump and maybe some other people. But we know for sure Donald Trump's in it. Because if it was just other people, Donald Trump would have threw their ass under the bus in a heartbeat. So we know he's in it pretty thick. We know Kash Patel knows about it. We know that Dan Bongino knows about it. We know that Pam Bondi knows about it. We know that Todd Blanche knows about it. And he's not his lawyer right now. Can't be his lawyer right now. So there's no client privilege right now. So the shit he knows, he could be brought to the Congress, to the House or Senate, and be able to be asked questions under oath. Get them all under oath. So we can throw their ass under a fucking jail cell when they get out. Because right now, Representative Ted Lieu, like him, love him actually, and Representative Dan Goldman, love him as well. Both of them have written, see if it happens, to the DOJ and to get a special counsel to charge Pam Bondi with lying under oath. It's a felony. Please, please, please get that shit done. DOJ, again, she's the head of the DOJ, but who knows? There may be a way around it. And if the American people want it bad enough, we can force it somehow. They need to let us know how we can help. If you need to call somebody, I don't care who it is, whatever we need to do, Representative Ted Lieu and Representative Dan Goldman, come to the people. If at all we can do anything, trust and believe we're going to do it. Because we know her ass need to be behind bars. She is Ghislaine Maxwell for Donald Trump. Hiding secrets and shit. Don't care about these women. Because if she did, which is so fucking crazy that she was in Florida, literally promoting herself, saying when she was running for one of the offices that she was there, legal offices that she was in, talking about getting sex traffickers. We're going to get them. And here you are representing one. And being in the administration of one. And protecting one. And when you was running for like sex trafficking, you had pictures and shit of women who were sex trafficked. And we got to help them out. And you turn around and there's women behind you sex trafficked. And you can't turn your ugly ass around to give them any kind of respect or acknowledgement. Jail cell is where she needs to be. Hell is where she needs to be. But jail cell will sacrifice. These people sold their soul. And I don't know what it holds, lying under oath. I don't know if it was the one that's 5 years and $10,000. I don't know which one that is. But whatever it is, please, 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 keep pushing on that, Representative Ted Lieu and Dan Goldman. We got your back on that one. Now, the department, I think the DOJ responded on one of the social medias. I don't know if it's a truth or a tweet or whatever. I don't know if I have it, but they responded trying to act like, it is no big deal and people are lying and something like that. Let's just see if we can read it verbatim. The oversight Democrats they talk about should stop misleading the public while manufacturing outrage from their radical anti-Trump base. Radical. We're the radical ones. I don't remember any Democrat putting shit all over Nancy Pelosi's desk and walls. That would be you. Anybody against them is radical, but they let criminals out on the street to do crimes. Oh, and here's another thing. Ooh. This is one thing I really want to find out from Democrats or any lawyer. If it turns out that any of these criminals that Donald Trump pardoned is one of the people that either killed or part of a group of the people who killed Renee Good or Preddy. This is Alex Preddy. I can't remember that first name. I keep messing up. I think it's Alex Preddy. Then they should go to jail too. Whomever let him out, because they got him back on the street to do what he did. I just want to know That's something that came to my mind. I'm like, because I know these people are these Trump people. Because who else would want to go out in these streets and harm American citizens other than those people that would run up to, our government, our house, and destroy it with feces and steal shit out of it, like they own the country. It's insane. So that's one. And they said that the Justice Department, DOJ, has repeatedly said publicly and directly to NPR prior to deadline, nothing has been deleted. Okay? If files are temporarily pulled for victim redactions or to redact personal identification information, then those documents are promptly restored online and are publicly available. All responsive documents have been produced unless a document falls within one of the following categories: duplicates, privilege, or part of an ongoing federal investigation. There's no federal investigation. You guys made that shit up. You said the investigation was over, Pam Bondi. There was nobody to be up charged. So did Kash Patel, cockeyed Kash Patel. Only when you guys had this law passed that you had to turn over the files because you thought nobody was going to see any of these files. They just weren't going to see the light of day. You was going to make excuses forever, and you were never going to release them. But then it became a situation where it was law. Now you got to do it. But the point of the matter is that these people are lawless. It's a law, and instead of following the law, like Law and Order Party, they look into the loophole of the law and say, well, you didn't say there's any punishment for not following this law. So with no punishment, we just ain't going to follow it. So you're breaking the law is what you're saying. But because they didn't put in there that it's punishable by $5,000 a day or $1 million a week or, jail or whatever, they chose not to follow the law. The Law and Order Party. Wow. Just lawless and disorder. How can you ever trust a Republican again, MAGA? How can you ever trust a Republican again? Anybody in this country? We need to go from Democrats and Republicans to Democrats and independents. We need to get rid of the Republican Party. It has to go. These people do not have any standards. To go this low, to fall this low into hell, and think that they're going to turn back around and come back toward heaven once they done had a taste of hell? No. These people can't be saved. Just like you believe in the Bible. Once you're a Satanist, once you go down to hell, ain't no way going back to heaven again. And heaven is just normal. They won't ever come back to norm because hell tastes and looks and smells awesome to them. It smells like power. It smells like no responsibility. It smells like no accountability. And who would want to go back from being held accountable, not being held accountable, to being accountable? Hell, you can't get racist white people, a lot of white people in this country, to be accountable for their ancestors' actions. And you want them to be accountable for what the Republicans did over these past decade? Destroying this country, destroying democracy, shitting on the walls of our home. This is America. Even during Jim Crow, not in Jim Crow, but during World War II. The World War II. During that time, the people didn't come over here and get over here and do anything at all, right? During the Civil War, nobody ever made it to bring their flag. They lost. They never got to any of our government locations and did anything. But they did it January 6th. Those people don't love the country. How can they love a country they just shat on? Literally shat on the country. And then try to tell you their bastardized version of patriotism. You don't know what patriotism is. What you did right there wasn't patriotism. You can't love a country you shat on. Seriously? And then try to turn a woman who ran up in there trying to harm people, and the officer protected and shot her and killed her, and then you try to make her a martyr? Like, oh my God, she was just in there. She was in there with people shitting all over the walls, harming people, slamming officers' heads into doors. Yeah, she deserved that. She was trying to climb through a window that she thought privilege made her. That was the first time in my life that I saw white privilege be denied. That's the first time I've seen it. She walked in, I got white privilege. Pow! No, you don't. You got white wings is what you got. But more likely, you got red wings because you went to hell. You didn't go to heaven. That's what she got. Straight to hell. Thought she was coming in with that white privilege. Nope. Access denied. Poignant that it was a black man that took it from her. Strange how that shit works. Today, Kaka Cash Patel fired 7 FBI agents because they were working on the Mar-a-Lago files that Donald Trump stole. And these people worked on that case. Not only did they work on it, they were adamant about finding the truth. So these people were part of a core group that was following the evidence. And one of the pieces of evidence was that cockeyed Cash Patel said this wondrous lie. I was there when Donald Trump declassified these documents. He said it on his podcast or some shit. He said it, all that stuff back in the day when it happened. He vouched for Donald Trump. I was there when he declassified. He declassified, I was there. So, okay. So the FBI followed that. You was with him on the phone? Were you in person? Okay. Well, let's get his phone records, see when he was talking to Donald Trump. They didn't get his phone records. They got the metadata, meaning they got the time that he called and the numbers that he called, but not the actual words that were said on the phone. So they were researching Cash Patel. It's odd how he fires the people that got evidence or information on him, because what he said was fantastical. Why? Well, the FBI had to know, and anybody who worked for the government or have a friend or know anybody who worked for the government, that the president just doesn't declassify something like willy-nilly. There's a process. So Donald Trump just declassifying in front of Cash Patel is impossible to do. They knew it was a fantastical lie, and they was following it down this rabbit hole. Well, they got some information on him, and he let them go. Not only him, but Susie Wiles, too. Yeah. The lady who released the information on Donald Trump, that's his second in command or whatever, fucking is always around him. And he didn't let her go, even though she released some information that made him look crazy. But it was, again, one of those distraction moments. I told y'all before, wag the dog, put some shit out there, get them from stopping from the Epstein Files. Over and over again. That was Susan Wiles' attempt to get them to stop talking about the Epstein Files. This right here is an attempt to get people to stop talking about the Epstein Files. He fired them to make a story. They've been there this entire time. Why fire them? You start to pick up some things that they do. They don't fire everybody because they need ammo to fire people, to convert or divert people from other information. Donald Trump came out with this State of the Union speech. It bombed. And then immediately find something else to talk about because people are fucking me over. They don't like me. I'm underwater. Do something. Next day, 7 FBI agents gone. Well, you should have let them go a long time ago. When you first came in, you knew they had that information on you. This is not new revelation that they had these documents. They had them. And you knew they had them because they told you about them. When you got there, you got this information. See, they got this capital. Diversion. I call it diversion capital. There's so many things right now that they want to fire people for, but they keep it in their pocket as like a diversion bomb. And they wait for something to happen. Boom, put it in the media. Everybody's all over the place. Diversion bombs. That's all they have. This right here is diversion. The FBI people shouldn't have been fired. All they was doing is doing their job, but we're having a conversation about it. and it moves away from them. I talked about Donald Trump top of the dome. That's when he came on. We talked about Donald Trump. But see, the media, once they got this, we got some breaking news and blah, 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 blah. And it was said in the middle, then every station led with it after it was mentioned. Instead of keeping it in its place where it should be. Somewhere around third, fourth, or in the middle of the show. But they know it's breaking, so they got to put it at the top because they're all looking for these ratings. And they should have, if they're going to do it, there goes 7 people. We'll talk about it later on the show. Move on. Trump, 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 Trump. Pedophile, 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 Trump, pedophile. The survivors. Then come to this little piece. Because if it doesn't work, tomorrow it's going to be another bomb. If it doesn't stay in the news for longer than a day or two, another bomb. Another bomb. Because they have to get you to stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein. And guess what? We ain't going to stop talking about it. If I live longer than any of you, meaning in office, Pam Bondi, Donald Trump, what's his name? Todd Blanche, Kakai Cass Patel, Dan Bongino. If I live longer than you, I'm going to still be talking about it. To your grave. So you can keep throwing all the bombs you want. We're going to keep talking about it. Until these women see justice. And after they get justice, we're going to make a movie about it. We may even make a day about it. A whole fucking month about it. I don't care. We're going to keep talking about it. You guys are going down as the worst people in history. When they think about you, you're going to be close to some of the most horrendous people in this country that ever lived. Not in a good way. You protected a pedophile and an entire sex trafficking ring for children. You protected it. You lied about it. All for what? Jets, money, proximity to power, all that. While having kids of your own and looking at them and not thinking about Donald Trump would have raped my kid if I had money, or not had money, if I lived close enough to that mansion at the time. There's no doubt he would have did it to mine. Epstein would have did it to mine. But you don't care about that because it's helping you fly around the world and do shit. Hockey teams and flying all over the place talking about you're going to take people. Christy, no, we got this $70 million jet. Luxury as fuck with a bar in it. That's the type of plane. You nigga, you take a cargo plane when you're taking people. You don't have no luxury jet. I mean, you talking about immigrants illegal immigrants that's supposed to be criminals that you're supposed to be getting, and you're gonna put them in a jet with a bar? Where are they supposed to sit? That thing only seated. It had seats for 14. It said it would seat 14. You mean to tell me you loaded up a shitload of planes for these Venezuelan men, young men? Were they in a luxury plane? Fuck no. So even the fact, Democrats, that she said that, bring her in, get her under oath, and ask her, is this plane really for immigrants or is it just for you in luxury? Because it only fits 14. And if you're going to take people out of the country and only 14 at a time, won't that cost Americans a lot of money when you could just get a cargo plane that'll be cheaper with just seats in it that fits about 300 and you can take 50, 60, 100 or load it up with 300 and take people places? Why would you need only a 14-seater? Have her lie under oath. Once she gets out of office or whatever it may be, or even before then, DOJ shifts, rest them all. And Dems, don't get no, whoever gets in the office, don't get no like ideas on this shit. Your ass go to jail too. We want this shit to end. We ain't trying to just, oh, you're our party now. No, we don't want that shit. We don't want none of it. We want good people, truthful people, law-abiding people. None of this catering to billionaires and fucking the American people over. No. Things will change. And once Americans get their head right and decide that we want shit for the American people and not for these people trying to divide us over stupid shit, because we all really want the same thing. Pay down our bills, pay down the deficit, or pay down the debt, and actually have the deficit set that it's not a surplus. Not surplus, that it's not a negative, it's a surplus. We have enough, more than enough for us to spend and still have some over and pay our debts down. Everybody wants that. How to get there is the problem. But there's so much tribalism. Whereas if a Democrat comes up with a plan that works, that can balance our budgets, as soon as a Republican comes in, instead of adding on to that, you destroy it and take us back to zero and then put us in debt like crazy. And then when you get out of office, another Democrat comes in and tries to move the needle forward. They get it moving forward. Then we elect a Republican and they take it back again. America needs to recognize what we have. Like I said before, I was talking about the farmers. Now I'm talking about Americans. All, not just farmers. If a party has taken us out of debt or at least paying off our debts, why don't we continue with that party until they start fucking up and not working for the people? But continue with the party that literally builds us. Can you imagine? And I don't care if it was a new party that came out that did that. But to have a party that really focused on the people, the Republicans will never do it. They already had a taste of the devil. They're going to love that forever. You can't get a demon to come up and hang out with Jesus. It ain't going to happen. These people claim Jesus, but go into Satan's world and do everything Satan wants. Don't care about people. Always talking about we're going to do something for the people, but never do it. Always say we got a plan for something, but never have the actual strategy. We need to fix this. Really? How do you do it? I don't know. Then shut the fuck up until you do. What is your opinion? Again, if anybody had a business, this is what I like in the Republicans too. And they know better too, because they start businesses a lot. But they're trying to run the country without a business plan. None. We're just going to get in and run the same old game plan that people did years ago. It worked for my grandpappy. It worked for this, worked for that. No, it didn't. Absolutely didn't. But they keep coming in and doing it the way of the old. And the way of the old is what's gotten us into a lot of fucking trouble and a lot of fucking debt. Under Clinton, our shit was better. Then why couldn't we just keep working on that and making it better after better after better and better? America would be fucking killing it right now. We'd be paying off our debt. Have surplus left and right. We already had it. But no, we get a Republican in. We got more money than we can ever really spend right now. Wow, so you can have some money and you can have some money and you can have some money. What the fuck are you doing? I thought you was fiscally conservative. And then we go into massive debt. Then we go into damn near, we had a huge housing crisis. And Obama had to come in and save us. A Democrat. All while a party wanted to make him a one-term president. And this man came in and was trying to save the country for us all. Democrat, independent, Republican, us all. Did you hear Donald Trump? Did you hear President Obama ever say, these Republicans are just disrespectful human beings and I just don't want to be president of the fucking Republicans? Republicans are just, they hate the country. They hate the nation. No. Uniter. We hope we can do it. We, Americans. God bless America. Donald Trump comes up. Republicans are sick. The Democrats are sick and this and that. You're the president of the entire country, not just of Republican MAGAs. What the fuck is that? How are we going to get better with some dude that just come up here? like old grandpa out here just ranting and raving about shit that don't even make no sense. We're booming. We're a great country. We got so much winning and so much winning. Somebody came up to me. He looked like Jesus, but he was on like a pickle. I just told me, like, this is we doing it. Ain't nobody said shit to you. Nobody talks to you. Bullshit. And they be sitting there eating it all up. Who was it? Who's talking to you? Nobody. It's voices in his head. Shit he makes up. Tony said, we come up with winning so much, we just can't understand how much we're winning. Winning what? Debt? Beef is going down. To whom? Beef is up 22%. It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. The thing about, we're going to watch a clip from CNN. It's Abby Phillip. It was the post show after the State of the Union yesterday. Not the full show. It's like a 3-minute clip. We'll stop in between some places in there. But it had some of the most, I don't know how to explain it, but Ken Cuccinelli, that dude's racist as fuck. I don't care what anybody says. He is. This is not in the video, but I watched that entire clip throughout the day. It's online. And the other guy, too, the other Republican, they're just racist. They really don't understand what racism is. They do, but they keep telling you they're not it because that sticks. They don't want that to stick to them. But it's what they are. I mean, they literally are talking about, not in this video, but one of the other things that I wanted to mention is that they're having a conversation about immigration and how they want hardworking immigrants. Because they mentioned, I think Abby Phillip and a few others were saying that Donald Trump's racist because he's literally talking about the Somali people, as if they're all one way and there's no all anything. But he says the entire core group. He doesn't mention just the criminals within that country or within that culture. He talks about all of them, one huge swath. Never mention the facts that when they talked last night, when they were saying about the immigrants, Somali immigrants in Minnesota, I believe. And he's talking about, robbing the people, those like that. And he called them all these negative and racist terms. So crazy that he left out the white woman who was the head of it all. It was a white woman who was the kingpin of that. She was never mentioned. She was the one that was recruiting these people and giving out her number so they can get the money. She was the one teaching them how to get more money for their schools. And they used her number and shit like that. And she got a cut. She went out to these people knowing that they needed money because the government wasn't giving them enough for their particular situation. And she went out to them. Not to say that they weren't doing criminal shit. They all need to be, held responsible for their actions. I have no problem with that. I'm talking about all the ones who did it. But all the ones who did it are not all the Somalis there. From what I'm being told, there was over like 66,000 Somalis that live in this particular area. It is a handful of them that have even been charged with this or even accused of this. And you're saying Somali? Well, I'm sorry. The one kingpin of it all was a white woman. The one who started it. The one who benefited the most. The one who taught them how to do it. The one who went out to get them so that she could be the top ring of it and they get so much money and they have to pay her. She went and sold it to them. They didn't know about it till this white lady went to them and told them what she could do for them. So without the white lady, the crime probably would never happen. But they did it. The ones who did, they deserve to go to jail too. But she's the kingpin. That's like getting mad at a drug seller instead of getting mad at the drug deal, I mean, the drug dealer, like the entire, like the head of the drug mafia. I'm the kingpin, and you're gonna get mad at the kid selling on the side of the street more than you get mad at the kingpin. These black people doing this. What about the kingpin? Well, that white dude, we don't even know what he's doing really. He's just trying to make it for his family. What? He's trying to make a life for his family, rich as shit, doing this, and the person of color you look at and say, oh, look at they just all criminals. Really? So the white lady never got mentioned because it doesn't serve the purpose. The real criminal, the kingpin, was a white woman, and he made Somali people from Somali, because I always mess it up because I think they say you're not supposed to say Somalian. I say Somali. I just say the people of Somalia so I can get it right. He made that entire group of people. He didn't say criminals that happen to be from Somalia or have a Somalian heritage. No, blame them all. So Ken Cuccinelli and this other dude is a Republican in this little clip. You ain't gonna see it here, but you can go back and watch it yourself. It's like an hour long, whatever. But that part pissed me off because they start talking about, well, we bring immigrants here, and and it kills me how white dudes tell you how fucking immigration is supposed to work when they came here and they didn't get this from the natives. The natives didn't give them like some kind of clarity test, a purity test to get this. Just come on, it's fine. Then they get here and they start creating fucking rules for everybody else to come in. But anyway, so these two were talking about some kind of like purity type of test. Like, they got to have, we're a Judeo-Christian country, and we're this and we're that, and everybody's kind of like got to assimilate to this European style. No, the fuck we don't. The fuck you talking about? This country is not some like white sheet that everybody's got to assimilate to this white fucking sheet. That's the KKK, bitch. This country is just like we built the flag and all these other things back in the day. It is like a quilt with different cloths. It's a quilt. You got green and stuff like on the quilt for people who came Irish, and you got the gold and black and red from people who came from like Africa. You got all these different, in Cuba and all the different places, whatever it may be. People have come. That's what this is. It's a tapestry. America is a tapestry of immigrants and black people, because we're not immigrants. We were stolen, but still, we're a tapestry, and we all belong here. Nobody owns it. Now, if we really want to go back to it, the natives, indigenous people, to give it 100% respect. But these two people are going to sit here and try to tell people there's some kind of purity test and they got to believe in their bullshit ass ideology in order to be in this country. No, they don't. They got to abide by the laws and the rules. And you know how they caught them? This is what kills me. When you catch a racist, they just shut up. And they, you know they recognize the moment when they realize that they said something that's racist, because they have no problem when you show them that they too are immigrants. Like they said something to the effect of, they got to come in here and assimilate to the American way, and we don't know, we can't trust the fact that they may not love America, they might try to kill us, and all this little crazy ass bullshit, right? And then Abby Phillips said something very poignant, very smart. Oh, I loved her at that moment. I was like, she got his ass. Ken Cuccinelli and the other woman that was on the show, I remember her name. But she said, he was talking about they had to assimilate. She said, no, they don't. And she said, this country doesn't do that. And that's not what we are. And because Ken Cuccinelli is Italian. So she said, it's kind of weird how I'm from New York. And when I go to New York, there's a town called Little Italy or something like that. And those people still have the Italian flag. They go back to Italy. They love their country and they love this country. They have their flag at their restaurants. They speak Italian. They don't speak English, not all of them. Or they have both languages. But when you're in their community, they're speaking Italian to one another. I don't see you having a problem with that, Ken Cuccinelli. And he was quiet. Because he doesn't find a threat of his own people, Italians, speaking Italian in America, or cherishing the flag of their nation, of their country they're originally from. He didn't have no problem with that. He didn't fight that equally like he was trying to fight it for people from Afghanistan or from darker skinned countries. He didn't fight it at all. She just caught his ass and he was like, quiet, because he had no rebuttal for it. And when I see people do that, at that moment, which she didn't do, I would say to him, did you just catch your racism? Did you just catch it? Because your mouth could not move when the racism was pointed at you. When it came to your race and your culture, you were okay, fine, with your flag of Italy being around these restaurants, with your native tongue. He said even my mom, somebody that still speaks Italian. He's proud of it. But when it came to these brown people, he wants them to stop speaking Spanish and stop speaking this because he can't understand it. Well, I can't understand Italian. But I don't tell Italian people to get the fuck out of the country because it's their country too, because this is a tapestry of cultures. That's what makes us great. We learn about each culture. We don't have just one. I could travel a little Italy and learn about Italian life, or actually food that may taste like it's from Italy and not actually go to Italy. Or prepare myself to go to Italy by going to Little Italy first. I'm like, oh, where should I go? Where should I go if I go over there? That's the country we live in. We respect each person's culture. And these white men want so badly for people to lick their asshole for being white with their fucking cultures, whatever they want to consider. But then want to destroy other people's lives because it's not their Judeo-Christian bullshit they made up. Their little litmus test. At that moment, he recognized his racism. He was quiet. Somebody black should have said, did you just realize you were racist? Whoa. Well, you had no fight. You should have had the same fight with the Italian people. You should have said, I don't want Italian people speaking Italian here. I want them to speak English. But you said your mother speaks Italian still. So you validated your culture being here. That tells me you're racist. Simple as that. I would have told him right in his face. Now, we're going to go ahead and listen to the other part of what this conversation is about. Let's get it.
And look, Donald Trump is pure pugilist. He's always on the front foot. He's always going to say we're winning. And
he basically said he's always going to lie to us, and he validates that. He's always going to say we're winning. He's a pugilist. He loves to fight, and these are their excuses for this man. He loves to fight. He's a pugilist. He likes to sit there and fight with people, not mend the country, not unite the country. He just wants to fight. And a bully can get nothing done. But he validates that. It's just who he is. Then why would you elect somebody that can't govern? All he wants to do is fight.
he has made deals with Democrats, both first term and second.
Can I just point out one of the things that you're saying, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, and this is going to make Donald Trump's head explode. I hope he's watching this. It points to the fact that shows you that Barack Obama was just a far superior governor and leader and executive than Donald Trump could ever be. You take somebody who in 2010, for example, had a very similar setup that we have now, and he was able to transform our entire healthcare system. Whether or not you agree with it or disagree, I know how you feel about it, Ken. You filed the first lawsuit against it. You guys still haven't fixed healthcare in this country or had an idea how to fix it.
You fixed it like a dog.
But my point is, he was able to...
Listen to what he said. Y'all fixed it like a dog. Like a dog. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? It's that euphemism, y'all fixed it like a dog. And it's like, well, what did you fix it like? Because you haven't. You haven't even tried. You have not tried to fix it. America needs a fix for it. And you've done nothing but call the plan that has been working for over 30 million plus people. You created a bill to destroy it by 2027, 28, to destroy it for totaling like, was it 6 to 7 million? No, 16 million, because it's like 6 or 7 now supposed to be getting out of it unless they can afford it. By 2027, 28, it's supposed to be going up. I think it stops in 226, so in the 227. Yeah. But fix it like a dog, he says. But they have not tried to fix it.
To go in and actually lead and be transformative. Like asking Donald Trump to do anything comparable.
He had 60 senators.
Asking Donald Trump to do anything comparable.
He had 60.
I know he had 60, but I mean, he still had to make sure.
Sell it.
He did
lied
have to
about
sell
He didn't get a single Republican
love her.
vote for it. They
Oh.
thought,
What?
if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. If you like your plan,
So did he
you can
lie?
keep your
Did he
plan.
not?
It was called the lie of the year. PolitiFact called it the lie of the year.
Oh
But
my God.
what Barack Obama had was an actual mandate. What you all have is you have to figure out how to govern. And after the 2024 election, y'all said you had a mandate. Well, the facts and the math in the Senate, you don't. So figure out how to work with your Democratic colleagues.
This sister's 100% right. Now, what they were talking about, this is what pissed me off with Mitch McConnell, all stuff like that. And they was talking about you can keep your insurance and all these things of that nature. If people remember well, it was the Republicans when President Obama was trying to get this health care passed. He asked the Republican and the Democrats to work together to work out a plan for the health care. Republicans under Mitch McConnell said they would never vote for anything that President Obama did. They was going to make him a one-term president, and they did everything they could. Even when stuff was good for their American constituents, they chose to say no and divide around racism and literally call Obama being racist when in actuality it was them being racist toward him. Obama didn't have a racist bone in his body. It was them that had the racism and tried to say Obama was racist because they didn't get what they particularly wanted. And their constituents thought like, oh, he wasn't giving us what we want. No, he was giving you guys what you needed, health care. And the Republicans were doing their best. If you go back and look at it, the Republicans was on the side of the healthcare companies, not the American citizen. They were pissed off that the healthcare companies weren't going to make enough money doing this. That's what their thing was, that the healthcare company was not going to make enough money doing what President Obama and the Democrats were doing, and not one of them voted for it. But like this young lady says, Ashley Allison, President Obama had a mandate. Now, to say a mandate is the country gave him the power to run the country without really having to deal with the House or the Senate because he had like a super majority. In other words, everything that he wanted to do, there were 60 Republicans to be able to pass it. They didn't need 50 plus one. They had 60. So if it was 60, that literally means Republicans can vote all day no. But Americans wanted health care, and he ran on it, and he delivered on that bitch. And they were mad about it. Make no mistake, Republicans did not want us to have health care. They were on the side of big business. And just like I told you before, when Democrats and Republicans took our jobs overseas, when we had manufacturing and good union wage jobs and different things in this country, we were big time manufacturing instead of a consuming country. It was the Republicans at first that created this connection with China in the 80s and so forth, and everything started to be made from China. No matter what you had in your house, your phone, anything that you had, everything you got in your house, glasses, your cell phone, your TV, whatever, pencil sharpener, all that shit, everything, pencils made in China, because they made that deal to make a shit ton of money for their billionaire friends. All the while, Democrats, not all Democrats, but liberals at the time were saying this is going to destroy American jobs and the economics in this country. And the Republicans were like, well, We'll send all this manual labor to them. We'll get it for pennies on the dollar, and then we'll just create all this technology stuff, and then they have to come to us for that. Bernie Sanders was like, yo, this ain't gonna work. Do you understand the jobs are just gonna leave here? We won't have these people who make shoes and these crafts that we've had forever. Well, we've had craftsmen forever building stuff. You know how you see houses and stuff back in the day, like built 1920, built 1930, 40, 50. Go look at those homes compared to what happened after we started sending jobs overseas. Everything was like factory made, all cut corners, no craftsmanship. There was somebody in there chiseling, and you have a beautiful awning and something crafted into your ceiling and all the shit. Like, none of that. Because those people and people who were like that and love doing that got pushed overseas so that they can make all that shit for $1 and sell it to you for $700. They didn't care about you. They sent your jobs away and then charged you a shit ton of money and built a campaign around it saying, hey, buy American. Why? So these billionaires could get rich. They didn't give a fuck about you. Why didn't you say save American jobs? They want you to buy American while sending American jobs overseas. Now ask yourself, when Obama was trying to get health care for all of us, and they were saying, the healthcare company's going to fall apart. They need this money. They need this. And they were how the healthcare going to run? They were just doing their best to fight for the healthcare companies. Now, why in the fuck is the Republican Party now talking about we gotta help with healthcare? We just gotta help with healthcare. We can't give these healthcare making all this money. Donald Trump, the healthcare company's making billions and billions of dollars. Let's give you the money. Why do you think they flipped their tune? Because they're trying to win. They don't give a fuck about you. Give me power. Give me power. How do I get power? I tell these American people whom they think we're dipshits, we tell them what they want to hear. They elect us and we do absolutely nothing. They're stupid enough to keep electing us. And lo and behold, we are. We are. Democrats and Republicans fucked us and took our jobs away. Now, with NAFTA and the other thing back in the day with China, now they're talking about bringing factories back. No, they're not. No, they're not. These factories aren't coming back. We have to spend $1 gazillion just to be able to do what they can do. And we got to get our technology light years ahead of theirs to be able to catch up with them. China's so far ahead of us in that technology thing for building factories that we would never catch up. 100 years from now, we wouldn't catch up. Because 100 years from now, they'd be 100 years ahead of us. America dropped the ball. Our billionaires, with greed, dropped the ball for Americans. And crazy enough, Bernie Sanders saw it all. Was there when it happened and said, don't do it. And now they're talking about health care. This man's about to go off on health care. Republicans, like they really give a fuck about health care. You were the same people when Obama was saying, we need to work together. And they were like, well, it won't work. He says, okay, it won't work the way you think it won't work. But let's get it started, and then we can always revise it. And the part is, let's revise it so it works for all Americans. But we got to start it. People are dying. We got to start it. They didn't want to do it, Republicans, because they were watching for the bottom line of the insurance companies. Now the insurance companies, we got, what was his name? Luigi, done capped one of them. They know now they can't speak properly about the healthcare company. They can't say like, we got to make sure the healthcare companies get money in it. They know that's assassination time because they can feel the vibe of the country. We applauded, this country did for the most part, when Luigi took out an insurance company head. So what do Republicans do? We got to revamp and tell these people they think idiots, Americans. We got to tell these idiots what they want to hear. I'm like, wait a minute. Why aren't you still thinking about the insurance companies? That's what you've always talked about is business people, insurance companies. Now you care about the people? Where have you shown that at? They haven't. They just created the big, beautiful bill that just gutted Medicare, Medi-Cal, took SNAP away from people, didn't even want to feed them when we closed down. We, the American people, stood up and fed our citizens. They cut them out. So you're going to tell me all of a sudden you out here cutting jobs, cutting military jobs, firing people from the FBI, and you give a fuck about the people? Where have you shown you give a fuck about the people? They have never done it. And now they want to tell you we care about the people without ever showing you they do. They're just moving their lips. Just like he's going to bring down prices in a day, moving his lip. Haven't done none of it. And they ain't even trying to do none of it. You haven't seen one plan come forward from them. That big, beautiful bill. And what did he brag about the big, beautiful bill? He literally said, that bill passes, we don't even need Congress anymore. So what's in it? What's hidden in it that's allowing this man to do shit without Congress?
Colleagues and get some stuff done.
I have a question for you. So,
Yes.
and it was in the speech tonight.
Yes.
The president tonight said that what we need to do is not send money to big insurance companies, the Obamacare subsidies, and send it straight to the people, the patients who need them. Democrats used to be against insurance companies. They thought it was corporate welfare. Is that a place where Donald Trump could get 7 Democrats in the Senate? Instead of doing the ACA subsidies,
how are you going to get the money?
You're going to have to first.
Are you going to send it to the states?
You're going to have to.
I mean, how does that work?
No,
You're going to have to open up the ACA, the sacred cow. You're going to have to open it up and say,
Listen to him. Listen to him. See, this is the thing. This is the, Americans, I don't care what you are, independent, liberal, Democrat, conservative, Republican, MAGA, whatever. When people tell you what we need to do, while we already had a plan doing it, what did your family members tell you if you had a parent that cared about you at all, raising you up? What did they tell you about when you got a job and you don't like the job, but it's paying the bills or whatever, but it's working, but you want a better job? What is your parents always, I've known, my friends, no matter what color, race, color, creed, their family members would always tell them what? Don't quit your job until you have a better job. Because why are you going to go without instead of having a replacement and have a better life? Why go backwards? Move forward. So, this man just said we're going to have to open up the ACA while trying to destroy the ACA. We're going to have to open it up. This sacred cow, he calls it. And then implement their ideology of giving the money to the American people. He doesn't have a plan nor strategy to do it. So instead of, if you're on a river somewhere and you see there's sharks in the water, and you got this boat made of barely any wood, little thin wood, it ain't gonna fuck you up if you don't get it. And you see this steel river boat down the way. You ain't that far away, right? Now, are you gonna paddle your way to that boat to safety, or are you gonna jump into the shark-infested waters and swim your ass to safety? They want you to jump out the boat that is saving you somewhat and to get into the shark-infested waters and swim your ass to safety. And by the time you get there, if you ain't dead, you're in pieces. It makes no sense. Let's destroy something and then build something. What makes sense is exactly what Bakari said. President Obama was highly superior than any of these guys. Because what did he say when this bill was being made? Republicans, put what you believe to be in it. That you can work it out. We can get it for the American people. And the way the ACA was, that it came out, it was without any help from the Republicans. Even though they were asked to be a part of it. They had made a solemn vow to not help this black man do shit. And now, the people who didn't give a fuck about you when the ACA was being created, didn't care where you lived or died, didn't care the fact that your kids couldn't be on your health care up to 26. They didn't care about you having pre-existing conditions. In fact, they fought the pre-existing condition clause type of thing. They didn't want it in there. They wanted your ass to have to pay a premium if you came to the doctor after you had cancer. They find it, got to charge you more. They wanted that. They still want that. It's just not popular. So they revised their bullshit to get stupid people to listen to them. You don't just change your fucking values. And they have no values. Their value is to win and to be empowered. It is nothing more, nothing less. That's why they need to go. That job should be of service, not to just serve themselves. And no Republican is doing it to serve their constituents, because they're not even listening to them as these constituents are in their meetings and saying to them, Donald Trump needs to change strategies because we're losing our farms. And these people are like, fuck you, to their own constituents. It tells you they don't give a fuck about them. Until it's time to vote. Watch them start to love on people now. It's getting close. This is the year of elections for these people. And this man is literally talking about, we're going to have to open up the ACA. And then we're going to be able to give the people the money. Because they know Americans, as much as you don't want to admit it, Americans are built on this system of greed. They offer you $300 tax back and you'll take it, even if it means you got to pay $5,000 for that $300. You don't pay attention to the fact that they're going to raise shit up dramatically. When you get that $300, over here they're going to raise shit up to $5,000. You got $4,700 worth of debt for $300 you got excited about. They're always fucking you. And if you don't pay attention, you're fucking everybody else up. Whenever they want to give you money, it's because some billionaire, some structure, some tariff, some tax, they're going to add to you. And as you see that 500, 600, 1,000, and for some families, 10,000, and you're like, oh, wow. They're raising everything up on the back end. Tariffs, taxes, taking something away from you, taking health care away from you, charging you more for this, charging you more for that. You get $300, you get saddled with $4,700 worth of debt for the $300 because you agreed upon that particular bill to get the $300. Pay the fuck attention. Republicans are not trying to help you. Never have, never will. That's not their thing, to help people. They don't have empathy or sympathy. It's not in their wheelhouse. All they have is greed, power. That's it. Hate. They ain't even loving him, I don't believe. Think about it. These Republicans literally want to F your life up. These ones in power. They don't give a fuck about their own constituents. It's the ones in power that's trying to fuck your life up. They're still down with the billionaires. When did you ever see a Republican in office or anything like that go against their billionaire class yet? But somehow they want to give you some kind of check so that you feel like you got some money and the Republicans are on your side. But they have yet to call out the billionaires for the shit they've done. In fact, they have gotten more money from these billionaires that are trying to destroy us, trying to get rid of our jobs with AI and everything. They have buddied up with them. So why would they be like taking millions from all these Republicans and these billionaires and Elon Musk cutting up Doge and shit like that and getting access to all our information, but all of a sudden now they want to help us with healthcare? It makes no sense because the billionaire class is the one they've been cozying up to this entire fucking time. Now they're about to stab the billionaire class in the back and give Americans money instead of the billionaire class. I mean, you have to be one large ass idiot to think that that's going to happen. They ended up with, in this situation, you'll hear him talk more about what he believes would work, but no plan. And it's been a decade. They have no plan. Just concepts. He's asking a Democrat, what if we do this? And what if we do that? No, 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 no. Tell us what it does. Give us your numbers. How does it work? How does it get paid for? What's the strategy? You don't have one? Then why'd you get rid of shit before you had something in place? How can you be fiscally conservative by fucking everything up before you decide to figure out how to fix it up? Do you understand? To implement something, it's going to take a while for it to start to work. And for you to take something away that's going to hurt this particular situation even worse, and you don't have a plan or strategy yet, a business plan comes not a week before you start something, not a month, usually years before you start a business. And these people don't even have the fucking business plan on how to handle healthcare. It took them 50 years talking about this shit before Obama came in and did something. You think 50 years of coming up, both parties saying they're going to do something. It finally get done. It's here for a decade or so. Republicans don't add anything to it. They've been trying to take it away forever, and they finally win to take pieces of it away, and you think they're trying to create something to make it better? They've had 10 years to come up with something. And they're still talking about what ifs.
Maybe we didn't do it right under Barack Obama. Maybe we got the insurance companies too much profit. Let's lower the medical loss ratio and send this money as vouchers, perhaps, or discounts straight to the consumer.
Vouchers, perhaps. He's coming up with it off the top of his dome. Donald Trump don't know what the fuck this man talking about. He just come off the top of his dome. Vouchers, perhaps. We'll give the money to him. But, I don't know, miracles. We can send it to him by unicorn.
I mean, I think you could. I definitely think you could have a conversation about that. But the problem that we have here is what you all have done to Medicaid cuts, what you all have done to the cuts on rural health care centers, what you all have done to these cuts around. I mean, so you're saying open up the sacred cow, and then you have Democrats that are like, we don't trust you.
That's right.
Because the one big beautiful bill has people out here whose costs are going up and whose access has gone down. So if this is all we're doing, then yes, Mike Johnson, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, get in a room and say, look, I don't believe that insurance companies should be making the profits off the backs of everyday Americans. You and I agree on that. How do we fix that problem? Let's talk about that directly. But the last time we did this in the one big beautiful bill, you cost the American public, both of you guys. And Americans remember that. And we're not going down that path again.
It's so interesting to come full circle on this healthcare topic, because I remember in the Obamacare discussions, Republicans were the ones who were trying to protect healthcare companies, which is why Democrats ended up with the bill that they did.
All right. Now, I look at it this way, because I see people in the comments talking about, and I don't know what you mean specifically, but I've heard other people talk these conversations because I'm a person who just want to solve problems. And I give credit where credit is due. It's been 50 years that both parties have been talking about health care. The Dems are the only one who's ever came close to doing it. So when people talk about, a comparison between the two when it comes to just that plan, there's just the idea of health care. There's no comparison. ACA helped people. Millions of people that didn't have health care before and can continue to do better if both parties gave a damn about the people more. But I got to give credit where credit is due. The only party that's gave a damn about the people, period, ever, are the Dems. Ever. Every plan we got, if you got a 5-day work week, Democrats did that. I ain't got to fall in love with everything they do, but I'd be damned if I'm not going to give credit for the shit that I have in my life and my family has in their life and my loved ones have in their life without giving the credit to the party that did it. Healthcare, Democrats. Social Security, things of that nature to help people, Democrats. Even though both parties have fucked up and take our money out, like I said, hold them responsible. Everything that makes our life better, any kind of bill that makes our life better, 9 times out of 10, it was a Democrat that did it. So when I say Republicans have never done anything for you, they haven't. Not unless they benefited from it more than you. Now, both of them focus on the billionaires. Big time. I get that. But if we were to unite over getting this country right, we'd have to unite behind the Democrat. Republicans don't have everything that gets destroyed in this country is Republicans. Most of the wars are started by Republicans. They happy as hell about wars because they make money while our kids go out and die. They're selling guns and weapons and shit, having a ball while our kids die. Most of the wars we fought, we fucked up on. And many of our people are dead because of it. I'll keep it a buck. The majority of the problems we face in this country came from the Republican side of the aisle. But again, Democrats are better, but they need to be even better. And what I mean by that is the billionaire class, they got to stop answering to. And the people need to unite around topics that we all need in our lives. And stop dividing and saying one community should have it and another community shouldn't have it. No, all of us should have it. American citizens. If you're not a citizen, then once you become one, you get it. That'll be the perk of becoming an American citizen. I get that. But the people should be coming together. Those forces can't win unless they divide the good people and have you run over to their side for whatever reason. Whether it be you got an issue with some war or some culture, some other country, or whatever it may be. You can't fight that shit under a dictatorship or authoritarianism. Under anything, you can't fight it under that. You got to have a democracy to be able to fight that shit. Donald Trump's out here and the Republicans are out here trying to kill you for standing up for people. Not trying. They're killing American citizens for standing up for what's right. That's what America and the Constitution, that's our right. They're taking constitutional rights away. This is not a Democrat thing. That's Republicans. And again, getting us off the script of democracy and not realizing that there is a demonic party and there's a party that needs work. Republicans are demonic. I don't care what you say. No empathy, no sympathy for nobody except for themselves. Gimme, gimme, gimme when you're a Republican. Don't give anybody else anything. Give me, give me. Never pay for a bill. Just create bullshit and never have a way to pay for it. And they put that on Democrats. It's like they're the only ones who created bills that pay for itself. When they create bills and shit, they literally have it'll pay for itself in 10 years, 15 years. CBO checks it out. Yeah, looks right. Republicans, their shit never works out. Their numbers never work out, yet we still pass it. Don't know how to manage shit. It's crazy. And we keep electing them. Just pure fucking evil, bro. How do you sit back and allow people to shit on people's walls and say those people are patriotic? How do you sit back and allow them, those animals to get put back onto the streets. Yet you're bitching and moaning about Latin people who ain't never broke a law, but they need to be thrown out of the country because they're not citizens. But you threw these defective humans that literally, the thing that kills me, people don't even realize, yo, do you know how dirty and disrespectful these people were? Visualize. They had more than one person, white, just pull their pants down, take an absolute shit out their ass, grabbed it with their hand, and wiped it on a wall. And they want to post pictures of black people, the Obamas being apes. That's some ape shit right there. That's literally what you would see an ape do. You ain't never heard a black person do shit like that in your fucking life. But these white people did that shit and they back on the street. It's crazy. Don't come to me talking about what's uncouth in this fucking country. I'd rather have any one of those immigrants than those racist, shit-slinging white people. Fucking insane. They literally put their hand in their own poop. I just want good people. That's it. All the bad ones, we can get them out. Fuck all this. The criminals are bad. But I'm telling you, there's bad people. Just need to go. Just go. If you don't like the country and you can't respect the people that are in it, trying to make a good life for themselves, and all you got is hate, leave. This is a country of all kinds of races, colors, and creeds. And if you don't like them just because they're race, color, and creed, go find some place that's all white. Get the fuck out. Why are you here? Causing hell for everybody else. Breaking laws and shit. Everybody else abiding by the law. It's crazy. And why we divided over this shit? I'm sick of fucking, like myself, when people talk about the Democrat stuff, Republican stuff, I'm sick of both of them too. But for different reasons. Sick of Democrats because they don't fight hard enough. Sick of Republicans because they fucking evil as hell. If they literally had plans that work for the people, I'd be cool with it. But they don't. They never do. This man was talking about giving you and me, say, money. Donald Trump pulled this out of his ass. It makes no sense. Oh, you're going to give me the money that you're going to, subsidies that you're going to give the insurance company. Ask yourself a quick question, just logically. That's what I think Bakari Sellers was coming at. How would you do it? I love him answering that question because my man didn't have no answer to it. He went to the ACA. We got to open up the ACA. What do you mean open it up? Make some sense. What's open mean? What's that mean? It don't mean anything. It's just a bunch of words that don't mean anything. Open it up. What are we going to do when we open it? How are we opening it? What's going on? No. Oh, maybe a baby voucher. What is that? How are you going to do the voucher thing? Where the money going? To the states, to the people? How you going to do it? No plan, no plan, no plan. Then shut the fuck up till you got a plan. The idea that you're going to send subsidy money to the people, ask yourself a question. Wasn't it the Republicans that literally said, we're getting rid of these subsidies because we're trying to save money, and we'll give some of it back as a tax cut once we save this $2 trillion. Now, why were they trying to save $2 trillion? Because they promised, Donald Trump promised the billionaires whom gave him a shit ton of money to run for presidency. He got in bed with the billionaires that said that they wanted this tax break, and they've been waiting for this money because it was a promise to them. And they thought they were going to be able to find it through Doge and all that, and they overbid themselves. They bid too high. They thought it was going to be $2 trillion. So they spent hundreds of millions to get Donald Trump in office. They can't get their money back. So what did they do? They threw on tariffs to get tax money so they can get this $2 trillion. Who paid it? Well, the businesses, but then how did they pay it? Back to themselves through you and I. Estimated, and some people have estimated $1,000 up to $1,700 of our money came out of our pockets, paying extra for shit so that they could pay for the tariffs. So they made their money back. And now they're asking to get their money that they paid, which they done took it out of us already. The government's going to give them a bailout. So that's another situation of them getting more money and we're paying the tax for it. Crazy how we paid more money. And guess what? When we paid anywhere between 1,000 to 700, these fools are going to literally tell you, oh, we're going to give you a $2,000 check. Never came. But because of these tariffs, you don't even realize that we're going to end up paying around 40 something. They said $4,700, on the back end for the things that they're going to charge. Because it didn't kick in this past year. It didn't kick in until much later because he didn't start it until like April. And they didn't figure out how to get everything, whether they're going to charge us or not charge us, just somewhere like July or August. And they started charging us from then. So 4 months of charging us was like 1,000 to 1,700. So that means next year, a full year of tariffs, if he continues this down the road, which he planned on doing until the Supreme Court turned it around, we would end up paying about $4,500 next year. A whole year, this year right here, a whole year, we would have paid $4,500. They would have had the money, try to get the money from us to give these tax cuts. You would have got $300 after paying $4,700 from tax. Oh, here's your $300, here's your $600, whatever it may be. But you paid $4,500 or more with tariffs, in which these billionaires would get their tax cut after cutting all these jobs, after weakening our military, but getting rid of people and people who check out everything. Also, people who make sure that the consumer's treated fairly, gutted that. Our kids being educated, Department of Education gutting that. Say, wait a minute, we got dumber, broker, less safe, as long as the billionaires get their tax cut. Permanent. And they haven't been able to give it to them just yet on top of what they already gave them before, because they can't find this $2 trillion that they were promised. They're on a hunt to take as much money out of us to get this $2 trillion. A hunt to break us. And there's too many of us not paying attention, not listening, putting our head to the ground and hearing exactly what these people are saying. Everything they're saying. $2 trillion since they came in. Doge. They tried to do it. They gave us fake numbers. Those fake numbers, one is like, we're making 300 billion, 500 billion, we're getting this and that. Then it turns out it's like, way in the low, like 100 billion or something like that or less. They got rid of jobs that we need, got rid of our nuclear weapons and shit and energy. They got rid of people who take care of that shit. Oh, we didn't mean that. Hire them back. They fucked up more than they did anything else. And if you don't believe in white privilege, that's it right there, baby. You get a bunch of white people that don't know shit about running the government, the head of the government, and won't listen to people who have run the government their entire fucking lives. These assistants, these other people, these people in the military, they know how to keep it running, baby. And they can educate you on every aspect and tell you, hey, you can be free in this area, but this right here is set in stone because that's the way we roll. That's the way our shit's set. Can't change that. Shit'll blow up. You know what's right, what you can do. Then you know what you can move the country, whichever direction you want to get. But no, we get a bunch of idiots, white men, white women, don't know what the fuck they're doing, come in and tell everybody what they're going to do. And here we are. A country that's falling the fuck apart and divided around dipshits and people who are, and I'm talking about the power structure in Washington. Dipshits and feckless people that just won't do nothing. Won't fight. You got some of them will, but I'm talking about on the mass level. They all need to be fighting. And Spanberger Great job. Great job. I was motivated by what she said. And again, we need more people like her. Can you imagine the people that are already in there that we like, that are actually fighting? If we had all of them were like that, how far we would go? I believe far, because again, the Republicans need people that are going to stand toe to toe with them, instead of, they already know they got the Democrats number. They say something, do something, they know they'll piss off. We own the libs. Time to own these whack jobs. And they're the ones who have the biggest crybaby of them all. You hurt their feelings, they talking all day about it, all week about it. And that's what we need to do to them. Get them off their center and have them fight uphill, while we, Democrats and independents and whomever that love this country, work hard at democracy. And then we can get some shit going. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty much all I got for y'all tonight. That really, the healthcare bull got me big time at the end, because it's like, dude, think about this for a second before I go. They said that we had to cut back on these like subsidies, trying to get these $2 trillion, cut back on the subsidies because we're spending too much. We got to work on the budget and blah, 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 right? Then what was this mess about giving the money to the American people? How you saving money if you're going to give it to us? You said we don't need to spend those subsidies. So we don't need to spend it. Then why are we taking the money out and then saying, you know what, we're going to take it from the healthcare company and give it to you? Well, aren't you still spending the same amount of money? Instead of tweaking the bill that's already there and making it work a little bit better, you decide to destroy it and then offer up a bunch of maybes. It makes no sense. Offer up a bunch of maybes when something's definite. And it's definite, the one big beautiful bill is killing a lot of people. Mentally, physically, spiritually, and everything. Because some people, they're dying from something that their ailment. And then others, the stress it takes to have to find out how to pay for your medical bills. Because these dipshits want to play games and own it. Make no mistake about it. The Republicans just really kind of showed their hand. Let's work with the ACA. Well, you could have done that without having to get rid of it. It literally meant that they want to take this bill and call it their own. They can't call it their own if they don't try and destroy it first. And then rebuild it and say, look what I did. So they're offering up the ACA again. This dude saying, offer the ACA, but we'll throw some vouchers in there. Why couldn't you just throw vouchers in the ACA and not take the money away to begin with? The pettiness. If you want to solve the problem should be solved and not played with. Stop toying with Americans and their lives and their kids and their families just so you can claim some shit. You had 50 years. The Democrats came up with it. It's their bill. Now work on it. Act like good boys and girls and make it better. Each addition to it to make it better, you can claim. Whoop-de-whoop. Doesn't care who fucking claims it. Just do it. And this shit, giving you money, that's a greed way of making Americans think they're going to get something and they're like, oh, let's run for it. And then on the back end, because think about it. This is the last thing. When they said that, like he said, they're going to give you money, I give you the money. Here's money right here. Instead of giving it to an insurance company, I'm going to give it to you. Then what does the insurance company do? We don't see this money coming in anymore, so we're going to have to increase our prices because we don't have the subsidies anymore. So the subsidies were, for the average family, well, average person, I think $500-$600. So with the families gone, with a single person is $5, so a family of 4 is about $2,000. Oh, insurance $2,000 more. They give you a subsidy of what it was before it went up. Because that's the subsidy. The subsidy is for the amount that you was paying for before. So you hand me the $2,000 you was paying before, and like, here you go, and then what you owe. About $4,000 more. $2,000 more, depending on your family. It's like, how is that solving some shit? Give me money so that they can increase healthcare because they're no longer getting these subsidies, so they're going to increase it. How can you lower it when you're not getting as much money anymore? It makes zero fucking sense. But they'll catch a lot of Americans with the greed aspect. $2,000. You know what I could do with $2,000? Absolutely nothing if you get cancer. Not a fucking thing. Buy one pill and die slow. That's all you can do with that $2,000. If you can buy one cancer pill. But you know what you can do with the $2,000 if it went to the ACA? Have most of your health care taken care of through ACA. Yep. Seen it happen. Person on ACA had cancer, passed away, rest his soul, but the health care was taken care of. That's why I was tripping on people like, oh, it don't work. You don't know about ACA at all if you say it didn't work. You must have been terrible at filling out shit. Because I had people who had cancer who was on it, and the shit worked. Got chemo, everything. Boom, 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 boom. They was only paying like $150 a month for one person with the subsidy. So don't tell me it doesn't work. It does. If it didn't work for you, you must suck at filling out applications. It may be your city. It may be your state that's fucking with it. That's another thing too. When this stuff happened, a lot of these states, especially Republican states like Indiana and so forth, these people would try to. Indiana did pretty well with it, but other states that are like southern Republican states, many of them did not take the subsidy. Therefore, it made it a little bit more higher because they didn't get in on the system. And then others took pieces of it and not all of it. So then again, in your state, you could have got on ACA and it totally fucked you. But that's why they did it, just so that you would not get on it. But for the most part, it worked. But anyway. Yeah, Jen James, I'm telling you, they keep playing with these people's minds. $2,000 is nothing. Oh, here's your $2,000. Dude, what is that going to do for me? It ain't going to do shit for me. And one of their selling points is, the Republicans are trying to sell, is like, you know, that way you can get your own doctor and you can shop around. I don't know about y'all, but who has the time to go and shopping around for a doctor? You want a specialist? Yeah. You want your doctor? Yeah. If you have one. By the time we get to say we got a doctor, most of us. But you got to go shop for a doctor. That means the doctor's on the market like fucking Samsung phones. You walk around, you take these vouchers? No, I don't. Well, damn. You take these vouchers? No, I don't. Who wants to do that? When you can get a book, do they take these vouchers? This one does, this one does, this one does. Or internet. This one takes it, this one takes it. Call one up. You can do that. But these two, you got to shop around for your doctor to see if he'll take this or take that, because you don't have no insurance company or no pamphlet, because you don't have insurance anymore, to tell you what insurance or what doctor will take what, or what doctor's in what program. It's like, yo, did you think this through? They did, but they didn't think it through for you. They thought it through for the billionaire companies, because now when they make it so it's on the market, you could pay like right now everything's kind of like a fixed rate. Them doing their thing, that shit's like amortized. It's like when you put it on the market like they're talking about, the doctor, or the insurance, whatever you may have, they can be like, you know what, You know, the stock market kind of went down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I went, you know, our shit just rose up $75 a month. Like what? You don't know how they're gonna work. They get out of the system. These doctors and everything, the good doctors can totally be like weeding everybody out. They create plans, Republicans, that don't benefit the people. Trust and believe that. Because this crap, giving you the money, is a trick. That's how they trick people to take their jobs. You're gonna get so much money coming in once these little peddly jobs go overseas. And over 700,000 people lost their jobs almost instantly that first year. 700,000. How are you going to get better when 700 grand, 700,000, not grand, but 700,000 jobs just disappear? That's crazy as shit. I don't know how many years that was. I don't know if it was the first year or a couple years, but 700,000 jobs were lost because of that move. This shit right here, if Republicans get their way, millions of people are going to lose their health care. Tens, if not thousands of people are going to die. How can that be caring about people? It isn't. All right, ladies and gentlemen, much love to y'all. We got to fight for it, and I get it. We gotta get our Dems to fucking fight, because right now, that was some feckless shit y'all did. Y'all should have stood up and said, release the Epstein Files. It would have fucked him up. Donald Trump would have been like, what do they do? They don't care about the, because he hasn't even talked about them yet. Y'all should have forced him to talk about it. What was he going to say? They're not American because they got up there and said, release the Epstein Files. He would look like a total dumbass, even to his own people out there watching. You see what he did, how he looked when they mentioned the Epstein Files? While the women were there? Oh, man, y'all missed the moment. But anyway, you guys have a good one. You be safe. I'll see you tomorrow around the same time, doing the same thing. Spreading nothing but facts. And sometimes my feelings about them, but it's crazy. And I hope we can keep this together. Y'all take care. Much love. I'll see you tomorrow. See you when I see you.